Hi, I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're at NAB 2016, and I have Andy Maltz, who's going to make us smarter about ACES. So before I get into it, I wanted to just say that you guys just announced recently that, well, Universal Pictures announced that by 2018 they're going to be using ACES for theatrical productions. Is that correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so that's a big deal.
That is a very big deal for a major studio to make a public declaration like that. Yes.
Yeah, this is amazing. So, well, let's get back to the beginning. So when did ACES, what was the beginning of ACES? Why was it created? And why is it so important?
We started the project actually about 12 years ago in 2014, and it started out as a simple file format project. The complaint was you couldn't move digital motion picture images easily from one facility to another. The picture would look different. If you scanned some film at one facility and then scanned it again in another facility, it would look different because there were no digital standards. Now, we had film standards for 70 years. In fact, if you look at the SMPTE standards database, there are about 300 some odd film-based standards, and there are only about 16 digital production standards. So ACES evolved from a file format project into a digital motion picture production platform to replace what we lost when we moved away from film.
And there's a lot of people working on this. So you've got manufacturers, you've got some big studios, you've got post houses as well. So how is that all working together? The fact that you're not leaving anybody out and you're getting feedback and input from everybody.
It's been a really remarkable experience. I don't think it has ever been done to this degree in the motion picture industry before, because what we're really doing is together rewiring the industry from a lot of proprietary workflows and technologies into a common infrastructure that we can all work within. And when you have standards like that, it enables new creative possibilities like high dynamic range and wide color gamut and even high frame rates. Without standards, it's only the people that know the secret sauce and the secret handshake that can do it. So the Academy has the unique ability to convene everyone in the motion picture industry because we are solely focused on theatrical motion pictures. Our members cover every facet of movie making, from writers, directors, producers, actors, executives, to the toolsmiths, the technologists that actually build all the technology that we make movies on top of. So we're in a unique position in that we can bring everybody in. We don't need lawyers around the table because it's all out in the open. And we get competitors sitting side by side. You've heard the term co-opetition. I mean, that's what goes on. There's a lot of enlightened self-interest. It's a slow and sometimes painful process, but in the end, we get consensus. We get something that's actually standardized. We have several SMPTE standards already written. And then you get things like what happened over the weekend with a major studio saying, yep, we're in.
That's pretty amazing.
Which is not to say that the other studios are not in. It's just that's the first one to have spoken up like that.
So it's constantly evolving, right? So how often do you have a committee, right? How often are you guys meeting? How often? Can you talk me through the process of just how you guys work on this?
Sure. Right now, we're doing very little engineering. There was 10 years of engineering, and we had to say at some point, we're done. And that's what ACES 1.0 is. And we announced ACES 1.0 to the industry last year at NAB. The equipment manufacturers had the developer kit a few months before then and already started building ACES 1.0 technologies into their equipment. But we're not actively engineering right now because the industry has to absorb this 10 years worth of work. And we have to take the risk out of the system, and that you do that by stabilizing. So ACES 1.0 is stable. What we've learned over the last year is we miss very little in the definition of ACES 1.0. It's been used on hundreds of feature films already, many TV shows, commercials have even picked it up. So most of the work for the last year has been about education, adoption. The engineers have gone to work working on the products, building ACES into the products. The facilities engineers have gone to work building their pipelines using ACES. And the Academy's been working with education partners like the American Society of Cinematographers, the International Cinematographers Guild, the Producers Guild of America, a host of others, to educate their membership on how you actually use ACES, what the benefits are, and to basically ask for ACES on their next production.
So in terms of education, if people want to find out more about ACES, where can they go? Is there a website, repository somewhere you could send them?
There is a website. It's acescentral.com. and we have a Twitter feed. I think it's hashtag Academy ACES.
Okay.
And there'll probably be a hashtag ACES Central as well. But that's a great place to start. There are training videos, there's technical information, there are case studies from end users, everything you need to get started on your next project with ACES.
Fantastic. Andy, thank you so much for coming by and telling us about ACES. And I'll let you get out back at the show. So I'm Randy Altman with Post Perspective at NAB 2016, and this is Andy Maltz, who's been talking to us about ACES.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.